Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alana Kanai. Today I'm just having a yap sesh, another one of those. It's the beginning of March. I woke up this morning. Today's video is just about, how I always talk about, there's a cycle of growth, and with growth there's always going to be destruction. With creation there's always destruction. With any type of progress you're gonna lose something. And I've learned through my journey that when it comes to growing and evolving as yourself, there are going to be times where you feel like you're losing yourself, like you feel like you lose parts of you, or you're losing something. It can feel unsettling. It's very uncomfy to feel like there's pieces of you leaving, because then you feel incomplete in some sort of way. And I guess I'm kind of making this video to basically say that just because you've lost your spark momentarily or temporarily does not mean you've lost yourself, if that makes sense. It is natural for you to destroy old habits of yours, or things that you were once comfortable doing or comfortable dealing with. That's part of the process, whether it's intentionally being lost or not. That's part of the process. So you're bound to feel like you're losing yourself. And I'm speaking from experience. There's a lot of times where I wanted to work on myself as a being, like get closer to my fullest potential. And there's always going to be work done. Just know that while you're growing, you're never going to be done. But that doesn't mean be so hard on yourself to the point where you're like, oh, like it's always something that has to be done. Of course, as long as you're living, there's always going to be room for growth, whether you're at a great place in your life or not. So just keep that in mind while you're on your journey, because growth does not always mean you're going to get to a certain spot and that's where it should be forever. No, as much life as we have to live, our purpose here is to literally evolve and love that process of evolving, because we're ever living beings. We're going to be evolving every second of the day, whether we feel like we are or not. So it's just up to you to make the choice to want to do so, or to do things that can maybe speed your process up or make more efficient progress per se. It really is up to you to be able to be where you want to be in that moment in time. It is important to stay in the present and live in the now, and what feels right with you in that moment is what should be right. What aligns with you in that moment is what you should be going by. So never grasping from others, never comparing yourself to somebody else's journey, because that's not your place, that's not your journey. You're you. Stay in your place, respectfully. Stay where you're at and focus on where you want to go, what you want for yourself. Don't base where you want to go on what everybody else is telling you should be. Or obviously you have to be open and open-minded to good criticism, like constructive criticism, because but you have to be able to differentiate where that advice is coming from. Like if you're getting advice from people that don't really have your best interest at heart, then it's probably best that you just stay focused on you. But if you're getting constructive criticism from outside sources, just make sure whatever it is that you're critiquing based on what somebody else is telling you aligns with you, and it's not to people please. Because it's also me speaking from experience. I used to be a big people pleaser, and I used to try to change certain things about me based on what other people would say I needed to change. And it's like, that's not really effective. That kind of puts you more in a spiral of losing yourself, genuinely losing yourself, because you're trying to figure out, oh, this is really me. What somebody else is telling me, or how somebody else is treating me is a reflection of who I really am. To some extent that's true, but you have to take that with a grain of salt, because you can't let that be your whole being. I've already spoken on this before, but I was the type of person that grew up as a people pleaser. I grew up being very genuine and very open, to the point where people thought they could take advantage of that. And you have to really that's what I mean by being able to differentiate who it is and what it is that's being fed into your brain and your subconscious. You have to be in control of you, because your actions and the way you are is the only way you'll get a good outcome. So basically what I'm trying to say, like the moral of this video, is being able to keep your center while going through your process, because it is natural for you to get off track. It's natural for you to feel like you're off-centered. It's natural for you to feel like you're losing yourself. It's natural for you to be persuaded by outside sources. As long as there's outside sources, that is natural. We are human. There's going to be people in your ear all the time, but it is up to you to control what it is that you want to get out of your experience here on earth. Like, it is up to you to stay centered. It is up to you to deal with you falling out of line or falling out of yourself temporarily and bringing yourself back. There are going to be some people, you know, I've expressed in some past videos that I do have someone that is there for me, that actually wants the best for me and helps me get back on track when I do fall out of myself. But realistically, that's a blessing. Like, realistically, not everybody has somebody that can do that. So if you're not one of those people, and even with me, even though you might have somebody that does that for you, you have to be able to do it for yourself as well, because you have to have yourself before anybody. Like, there's going to be people in your life that want the best for you, and there's going to be people in the life that gives you a fantasy that they want to be there for you, but it's not the truth fully. It's going to be ingenuine people in your life that come and go, and there's going to be people that stay and that are genuine people and that you should be having around you. But at the end of the day, you have to have yourself. You cannot be dependent on somebody else to bring you back to your center. You have to be dependent on yourself, but also while being open to those who actually have that genuine want for you to be your best self, you know? So, and how you get back to center is you just have to let yourself spiral sometimes. I've learned that when I do feel out of myself, I do have to let myself spiral. I have to let myself, you know, let go. Sometimes these days I just want to stay in bed. I feel unmotivated for months, or not months, but, you know, weeks. And I just want to lay in bed. I just want to let out. Sometimes that is your way of filtering out that bad energy so you can start over and create new energy for yourself to get back on track and come back on your center. Sometimes our idea of what consistency is supposed to be also gets us out of our sense of self, because we think, oh, we have to do all these rituals and the things that we do for ourselves to make us feel good and centered every single day, and that's how I should be consistent and that's how I stay myself. No, you don't have to do those things every single day. It's not an obligation for you to stay in your good habits or your comfort things or the things that keep you centered every single day, because naturally we are human. We have emotions, we have experiences that make us, you know, want to take a break from those. It's good to take breaks, and that's with everything. So it's just about not beating yourself up too much and being open to hibernation, you know. And sometimes I believe that the winter and fall season is where my hibernation is, and the spring is where I bloom back out. But creation and destruction happens all year round. So that's like the more broad way I deal with it. But you can get right back up off your feet after your era of losing yourself, after your era of break, because it is important to have that break. And whether you think that might not seem like it's productive, but realistically it might be one of the most productive things you can do, because you have to filter that out somehow. You have to have an outlet to that bad energy that's going to come with living, you know, that comes with the life, that's natural. You have to have an outlet for that. You cleanse it out. You know how the earth cleanses itself with the rain? Like, there's so much stuff and waste on this earth that humans bring onto earth. There's waste, there's pollution, there's pollen, there's lots of earthly things that are naturally going to happen, but earth naturally cleanses itself by rain. And, you know, I see that as symbolism, and I kind of apply that to my life. You have to cleanse yourself out somehow, and that might be those moments where you feel your lowest. But in order to feel your highest, you have to have your lowest moments. So it's like a combination of extremes that has to happen in order for you to elevate in any type of way. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to get off my chest, because that's something that I've learned through my experience, that it's obvious that's going to be the times where you're the toughest on yourself. You just have to know not to trust your mindset when you're at your lowest. You have to know that this is not myself. This is not, I mean, you have to know that it is part of yourself, but it's part of you that you're trying to get out. You're actually putting efforts into elevating and doing better for yourself. So just don't trust the bad thoughts and the negative self-talk that you might believe in that lowest moment of yourself. Just know and trust yourself enough to know that you're going to get out of it and prosper. You're going to have more blessings coming towards you. That's not where you're going to be forever. So I just wanted to get on here and say that. That's all I have to say for today. I actually have to go make my brother some tea now. It's allergy season. I'm blessed to not have allergies, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very glad, but it feels so good outside. I'm just gonna make that tea for my brother, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. So with that being said, I am a reflection of you, you are a reflection of me, and we are all the universe experiencing itself. Peace, love, and blessings to you all.